So I've been having a lot of stuff about relationships. People starting to have more time themselves just because they're not in relationships anymore. And obviously that's part of my algorithm, right? But I wanted to talk about solitude and how the relationship with yourself and above. So I believe in a God. I believe in Jesus. Okay, I'm a Christian, and that's the first part. The second part is solitude. Okay, now let's go into solitude. Solitude is not like what people generally think, where you're just going into the mountains or you're just always alone. If anything, it's my definition of it is you're alone with yourself and the source. You're making decisions off of which your truth, truly, with as little much as validation from the outside world. Why? It's because for so long, just been trying to figure out myself. So long, we live in a society where there's a lot of external validation. So we might have that high and that good feeling of in the moment, right? That you're getting people are liking what you're doing, or you're doing something that will get a result from the outside, right? Manipulation of sorts. And maybe you're not trying to manipulate anything. I'm not, that word comes off as negative sometimes, but it's really, you're controlling a certain thing to look a certain way, to feel a certain way, right? We've been taught this. So it's not saying that's your fault. However, it is your responsibility to go on this journey. I've had some close people that I know that reach out and say, "Hey, are you good? Like, you're by yourself a lot of the times." Yeah, I'm happier than I've ever been. And I don't even want to say happy, right? Happy is just one emotion, one feeling. I'm content, I'm satisfied with where I'm going and how I'm progressing, because it makes sense. And if you followed my stuff, I'm starting to do a lot of posting a lot of good shit, right? Where I feel more of a release as I spend this time. And it's difficult at first because you're like, well, who do I go to? Because you've never gone to yourself as much, right? You didn't have that belief. So this was dying and this was unclear. And it's the simple things. Health, what are you eating? How's your sleep? Are you getting into fights with people, right? You spending time in the mind? Where are you directing your mind? Do you have intention with everything you're doing? Is it leading to an overall vision of taking care of yourself and taking care of your community? Money. You spending on a bunch of shit? Money is an indicator that you're the first indicator of unhappiness, right? And yeah, your relationship with self and the one above, or above, whatever you call it. Call it abundance, right? But so with all that being said, solitude, you're really going to yourself to validate. And if you can have that connection with something above, because I used to not believe, okay? I grew up within the Vietnamese community, right? I was born here, but I grew up with the Vietnamese community, and we went, we prayed, and we had Buddha and different gods that we believe in, right? It wasn't really, and I've heard about Jesus along the way, but it wasn't really until my dad, Jerry, my stepdad, the one that just passed, this man who loved me so much, gave me everything at all levels, emotional support. He was hard on me. Don't get me wrong. This man did not coddle me, okay? He was a Green Beret sniper in the Vietnam War. He worked with GE as aerospace, in the aerospace division. He did a lot with his life. He grew up on the farm. 1938 was when he was born. So you can imagine that type of person, that in the 10 plus years that I got to know him, he gave me so much. He planted so many seeds that I'm still understanding how much and how deeply he loved me. But more importantly is I only can do that if I give that to myself. So you don't have to go straight off into, hey, let me just say screw it to the world, because I've tried that before, right? No, it's just you let the people know closest to you so that you don't have to feel like you have to explain, because then everybody else You don't have to explain. You go do your shit, right? But you're not doing it out of anger. You're not doing it out of spite. You're doing it out of self-discovery, and that's what's important. Okay? You don't know where to start? Just take it step by step. Do your research, okay? There's a lot of people that are on this journey. I'm not the only one, and I don't say I have the best way. I am saying that for the first time in my life, I enjoy being with myself. I don't feel alone. I'm always connected because I seek that connection. It is on you, and it's your responsibility from wherever you came from to feel peace in here, clarity in here, so that eventually, and in the process, you're giving it back in truth, not out of anything else. I will slip up sometimes. I will go back to external validation. And external validation isn't bad either. It's you do need some outside information. So we can see, oh, this is what, like, if you're on social media, right? If you're a creator, hey, this is how this did good, but you're not so stuck into it. You're in a relationship, oh, we're good, but it's not because I am lying about myself. I'm unable to be myself truly, and I had to learn that, right? It's understanding that you're going to have some feedback from the world, but that is not your source to live your life. It comes from something deeper, something you cannot lie to, because you're sitting with yourself. You got to be honest. But if you're honest, you keep trying, take it step by step, reach out to people who you know are the real ones, right? They're not fluffing you up, but you know that love is there and it's real. Those are the people that will help you too, because we're all in this together. In the end, anywhere you go, you actually start connecting with people. You realize that there's somebody's mom, dad, cousin, aunt, whatever, but they're also your family too, because they too want to have peace. They too want to have clarity. So then you meet them wherever they are, and that's really what matters. Love you guys. Let's go.